Hi everyone, this is William from the Headphone Experience, and I'm here tonight with sort of a mini review. This is the Hifiman HE-500, which is an older headphone, but and I did do a three-way comparison about a year and a half ago. It was one of my first videos, and it was a comparison of the HE-500, the HE-560, and the Sandara. And the reason I'm doing this new video tonight is I just last night installed a pair of Kennerton ECL-01 Earpads on this headphone, and in my opinion significantly improved it. Not only way more comfortable, but I think it actually improved the sound. It made some pretty substantial differences. So anyway, that's why I'm here tonight. This is the HE-500 with both a grill mod that I did about 2 years ago and an earpad mod, which is, like I said, the Kenneton ECL-01 Earpads, which sell for about $71 in US currency. Anyway, I've had these headphones since 2012. These were my first serious headphone. You know, the first headphone I would consider an audiophile headphone, and this is what got me into the whole headphone thing. And I've had these for a long time. I've put probably at least a couple thousand hours on these, because it wasn't until about 5 years later that I got my second serious headphone, which was the Hifiman HE-560. So, I mean, for probably 5 years, I probably listened to these an average of at least an hour a day for that entire time, and have not had any problems with them at all. So anyway, a couple of years ago, I did the grill mod, which I did a short video on that, and that was also one of my first videos. And basically, this is about a $3 mod that takes about 10 minutes, and I just popped out the old grills, which the 560 and the 500 both have a little plastic retaining ring that you pop out, and took out the old grills and took what they were aluminum sheets that I got at Walmart in the grilling section, the outdoor grilling section. And what they are is they're throwaway grill sheets. You know, you use them once and the grill meat or whatever on them and throw them away. Well, anyway, they're thin, they're aluminum, they're very easy to cut with the scissors, and I just trimmed around the old the stock grills for a pattern and just popped them right in. And what they do is they give the HE-500 a little bit bigger soundstage, a little more width of the soundstage. They don't really change the sound much, but like I said, they just add a little bit of width, and the HE-500 definitely can use that. So anyway, so I've had them like this for, I don't know, probably 2.5 years with the grill mod. But the other night, I had a pair of Kenneton ECL-01 Earpads that came off of the Kennerton thrower, which I switched over to the ECL-02 Earpads, and it gave the thrower a little more bass. So anyway, had these lying around, and I had heard that they do fit on the Hifimans, so I decided to try them, and it's actually a very simple project. I had the velour pads on until now. Originally, the 500 came with pleather pads, little fake leather pads, and then they came with the velour. And I used the pleather for a while because they were more comfortable, but I settled on the velour because I think it sounded a little bit better. So, but they're really not that comfortable, and the pleather pads in the meantime pretty much disintegrated. So what I did is I took the plastic ring off the back. You can see these still have the plastic ring that snaps onto the headphone, and you do need that plastic ring to install the Kennerton pads. So what I did is took the plastic rings off of the old pleather pads that fell apart, and basically you just install the Kennerton pads on those. It takes about maybe 20 seconds for each pad just to put the little ring onto the pad, and then a couple minutes to install them on the headphones. So it's like a 5-minute switch. and you do want to get them angled right. You want it, you know, because it's a tapered pad, you want the thin part in the front and the wide part in the back, which gives you, you know, your angle. But anyway, putting these on, the first difference, it made a huge difference in comfort. These are a heavy headphone. They weigh in at 544 grams, which it's not the heaviest headphone. I mean, I've reviewed several that are heavier. Ones I can think of right now would be the Kennerton Odin is heavier. The Spirit Torino Twin Pulse Ragnar Special Edition, that one was heavier, and the Urzetish Phobos is heavier. But other than those, these are one of the heavier headphones, and that was one of the issues. In my three-way shootout, I basically came up with about a three-way tie as far as sound quality. In some ways I thought these were the best of the three, but at the end I came up giving the Sundara the win because of being lighter and more comfortable. And basically I like the three, I like the sound the best of the HE-560, but they need a lot of amp to sound good. They require about probably 2 to 3 times the amount of power that either the 500 or the Sundara needs. So basically my recommendation came down to, if you had a lot of power available from your amp, that the HE-560 was my first choice, and then if you didn't, probably the Sundara. And the only reason I gave it to the Sundara over the 500 was, you know, lighter weight and more comfortable. And but sound-wise, this is a good headphone. It's still a very good headphone, and I know these aren't available new anymore, but they are still available used, and a lot of people still have this headphone, so that's why I wanted to do this review. So anyway, I just wanted to, you know, tell you what happened to the sound on these, because it made a pretty significant difference. The first thing I noticed was that they have more bass extension. They go down deeper into the sub bass than they did with the original pads. Before, the bass was pretty much the same as the Sundara bass. A little more dynamic. These headphones are more dynamic than the Sundara or the HE-560 in my opinion. But as far as tone balance, the bass was just about the same as the Sundara. And now with the Kennerton Earpads on it, they definitely have more sub bass than the Sundara. So I would say the mid bass stayed about the same as it was, but the sub bass definitely went lower and has more weight to it. So the sub bass is now equal, pretty close to the HE-560, which has very good sub bass. But the 560 lacks a little bit of mid bass. So these, the 500 now with these Earpads now has more sub bass than the Sundara and more mid bass than the HE-560. So overall, this is the bassiest of the three headphones now. I just wanted to mention I'm still running the stock Earpads on both of those headphones. So anyway, the next thing that I noticed as far as a change to the sound is the mid-range became a little bit warmer, but at the same time became a little more detailed. That was my one complaint about this headphone in the three-way comparison. I thought that both the Sundara and the HE-560 had slightly better mid-range detail than the 500. And now with the Earpad change, it just seems like the clarity and detail became better on this headphone, yet the mid-range became a little bit warmer and more pleasant in my opinion. So not drastic changes, but enough to definitely notice. You know, last night I was doing a three-way comparison of all three, jumping back and forth, and the mid-range sounds more like the mid-range of the HE-560 now, where it used to sound more like the Sundara. So a bit warmer in the mid-range and better detail. So now this headphone actually sounds quite a bit like the HE-560, where except a little bit more dynamic and a little bit more weight in the mid-bass, and but less like the Sundara that it used to sound like. Anyway, another effect was it mellowed the treble slightly. Not that the treble was really a problem for me on this headphone, but I know some people did think it was a little bright, and I don't know if it really, it seems like it toned it down just a little bit, a slight amount, but it seems like it kind of smoothed it out too a little bit, like took away a little bit of the harshness. So just ended up, you know, I'm really liking this headphone now. I would have to say, sound-wise, I probably prefer this headphone with these Earpads to the Sundara now, and it's real close to the HE-560 and takes about half or maybe a third of the power to drive as the 560. So I've had these headphones for what, 7-8 years now. I think I got them in April of 2012, and I've always liked them. I always thought they were a great headphone, but the $71 modification I did last night, in my opinion, makes these a better, more pleasant sounding, all around, you know, headphone. Really enjoy them the way they are. And like I said, the comfort helps a lot too. They're still heavy, but they are a lot more comfortable. The weight is more evenly distributed, a more even pressure, and I feel they seal a lot better around my ears too, which I think that may be the reason for the improvement in the bass. And something I've always noticed, and this headphone is kind of unique in this respect, that if you're wearing these, the further you pull them away from your ears, the stronger the bass gets. So I assumed a thicker ear pad would actually increase the bass, and these ear pads on the thin side are about as thick as the original velour pads, but on the back side are quite a bit thicker. And I found out when I'm wearing these, if I can tune them a little bit, but if I move them back, the bass is a little bit less, and if I move them forward to where my ear touches the back of the pad, the bass increases a little bit. So you can actually kind of fine tune them that way. So anyway, yeah, if you have an HE-500 or 500, and I know these ear pads will fit on any of the hi-fi mans that use that plastic ring, which would be the 560, the HE-400, the 400i, I think the 400S, some of the older ones. There's a lot of hi-fi man headphones that use these same plastic rings. So these pads should fit on any of them, and they fit absolutely perfect. I mean, they're the perfect size and go right on with no effort. And so, yeah, I recommend it. If you have a 5.6 or a 500, give these pads a try if you want to, you know, change the sound a bit. Like I said, a little bassier, especially in the sub bass, a little warmer mid-range, a little smoother, but I think better clarity and detail, and just a little bit of mellowed out the treble just a little bit. So anyway, give them a try. I'm going to wrap this video up now. It got way longer than I thought it was going to be, and I wanted to mention that my next video should be my full review of the Headamp GSX Mini, and I'm going to try to get that out in a couple days. So thank you for watching. Once again, this is William from the Headphone Experience, and if this video helped you, please give me a thumbs up, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you are all welcome to join us over at the Headphone Experience on Facebook. Thank you.